Good morning. You know, a little contrary to the channel about oh crap, what's next? I deal with a lot of stuff, right? Organic farming and building and welding and whatever, right? One of the things I used to talk about quite frequently in the past was investing. So I noticed that there's quite a bit of YouTubers out there right now, and they're talking about gold and silver and the economy, fiat dollars, and investing in silver and gold. And I gotta say this: it's too late for most people in the United States because they were living from paycheck to paycheck before. When I was talking about investing about in silver, it was a couple of years back. It was $19 an ounce. At that time, people thought, "Oh my God, $19 an ounce! You know, it's expensive." So, investing at that time was crazy for a lot of people, or maybe they had the money, but they thought, we're crazy, right? Us people talking about investing. Well, let's look back a year ago. I don't even know. I don't even have a chart with me, but let's go 2 years ago. $21 an ounce. Okay. If you listened and bought, well, let me tell you something right now. Uh, we're about $57, $58 an ounce right now. And the supply and demand issue about silver is people don't realize that, um, you know, silver is in a lot of stuff. And to develop a mine, like a silver mine, if you find, this massive silver mine, to go online and sell this stuff to create it is like 5 years out. You got to mine it, dig it, uh, and create it into silver, bars and then of course the mints have to get a hold of it, and then they have to create coins. I mean, it's like 5 years. So right now the supply of silver is down. Okay, and here's the crazy part: these big institutions who are selling ETFs, basically paper IOU. IOU, you give me the money and I owe you silver, if you want your silver. Well, recently, like a couple days ago, we had the COMEX creating a freeze on traders because of what they call, a meltdown on their overheating and their data centers, which is, big bogus lie. Um, if people who own shares of silver on paper want the physical silver, let's put it bluntly, there's going to be hell to pay. Okay, we're going to see a lot of stuff go out of business. Um, do I think silver is going to go upwards of $80 an ounce and more? Absolutely. Buy more, guys. Now you can buy silver. My opinion is you don't want to buy like collector coins, okay? You want to buy just regular silver bullion, right? Even just like the buffalo, it's not a U.S. coin per se that's traded on the currency market, right? Because in '64 all the silver was taken out of quarters and things, so and silver dollars are no longer silver, right? So you need to buy like companies that produce 1 ounce strike of a buffalo, an eagle, and things of that nature, right? In Canada and whatnot, they do that and they ship it to US and they sell it at coin shops. You can buy them at online mints. And every time you buy an ounce of silver, in order for the seller to make any money, they charge a premium. Okay, premiums are low right now on all things. Now, you can go to a local coin shop or whoever buys and sells silver and gold in your area, and you can ask them, what's the premium today, right? So if the spot price, what they call the trading price, is $58 an ounce, you're going to pay a couple dollars more. So you're paying like $60, $61 for that ounce coin. I'm saying that generational wealth is created. Like if you get extra $4,000 or $5,000, my recommendation is buy silver right now over gold. Gold is good. Gold is not going away. $4,200 an ounce, plus or minus. And silver has a long way to go. And I've been understanding and hearing that a lot of silver depositories are getting cleaned out. People are hoarding silver, and silver can be used in any kind of circumstance. Trading. Now, I'm not a licensed stock advisor or investment, so I'm just one of these guys that follow precious metals and monetary fiat dollars, the economy, and whatnot. So you thought $21 was expensive. Try $58. Now we're going to be cutting out a lot of people who cannot afford to purchase at $58, $59. But you must understand, when it gets to be 100, okay, 105, 110, you're going to say, oh my gosh, maybe, I made the right decision. And it just brought the threshold to buy something higher and higher. Like, for example, a lot of people, when they were selling cars at $30,000, now they're selling them at $40,000 and $50,000, $60,000, trucks at $70,000 and $80,000. That's insane. But a lot of people can't afford that because their incomes are higher, even though we have inflation, right? By the looks of it, it's not going away fast, that's for sure. So I'm just talking about, the investment in silver. 2 years ago it was 21, now it's 58, 60. It's going to be 60 here shortly. Probably next week it'll hit 60. Yesterday was 58, 98. Okay, it was just 99. It was just almost 59. And of course, I gotta say that the whole thing is manipulated. The whole thing is manipulating, but you can't manipulate supply and demand. And everything, missiles, towers, radio towers, telephone towers, Wi-Fi, silver, solar panels, right? Silver, dental, medicine, silver. They use silver all over, lots of it. So this is just a little talk about investing in silver and gold. I would say, of course, gold is really expensive for a lot of people right now. I was trading silver when it was $400 an ounce, okay? And I was mining and saving gold back when it was that price. And what is it now? 42? Not bad, huh? Will it hit 5,000, 6,000? Maybe by 2027 and 2028, gold will be $8,000, $9,000 an ounce. Which, that's why you see a lot of gold mining channels right now, because it's actually profitable to go ahead and do some mining at this point, right? So silver, guys, it's not a bad investment. And we're just talking, just get a tube of rounds, 20 in a round, $1,100. You can buy a tube, stash away in your bank, your safe, wherever you want to stash it, throw it away, and put it away safely. Tell your parents, tell your mother, tell your wife, whoever it is, guys working in unison together. Be careful who you tell. If you trust a bank, throw it into a bank, right? There are private vaults too, which I really recommend. I like private vaults, like SD Bullion, for example. I'm not promoting them, but they have private vaults. And you can put your silver, send it to them, and they'll keep it safe, guaranteed and insured. Okay? So if you wanted to do that, that's not a bad deal either. I like that a lot, actually. So anyways, just a little bit update on financing and finance and investing. And by the way, guys, I talked years ago about my Ford stock. Yeah, it hasn't come up significantly, but every 3 months I have a nice dividend with that Ford stock. And if you're going to choose a stock to invest in, make sure it pays a dividend. I like my stocks with dividends for sure. And yeah. So maybe I'll be talking a little bit more about investing. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you real soon, everybody. Over and out.